How far ride would Waterdeep be?
His messenger's probably going to get there in about a day. You guys walked. It took you 2 days, but you were just kind of walking at a normal pace. But he's going to ride as if to give a message. And he starts to move towards the gate.
What time
he
of day
says,
is
also, I've got... Oh, go ahead.
What time of day is it?
6 a.m.
Okay.
And then you also see 2 more of them bringing horses out. And he's motioning to them as they come over, and you're kind of there at the same time he gives the orders to these 2. And he says, I want you guys to ride south. There should be a farmstead down there, and search for our quarry. I have a message that she may be hiding at the farmstead. And so 2 of the riders, a male and a female, are on their horses, and they're going to head south. So you're seeing these riders. And Ian, you're watching. They kind of move the cart out of the way. And then the one rider rides down first, down the road at a fast clip. And then the other 2 are walking their horses down south. So we see 3 at this point moving along. This is all taking place right in the morning. One guard still stays by the tower. And Zolkin kind of turns back to Armel and Teagraiel and Greybeard, who has walked over by that time. And Ardreth, if you're out, you can overhear all of this too. None of it's being quiet or hush-hush. It's just he's talking normally. And he says...
I had headed out too.
I will stay here with the lieutenant and make sure that nobody comes across that drawbridge while your group is gone, and hopefully you can bring back the villagers.
And your quarry.
It's possible she's with them still, so be wary. And the lieutenant comes over and joins him as Greybeard comes over.
So I ask him, because I'm not familiar with the story, but who's the quarry you're looking for?
He turns to you and he says, we've been hired. We're here to collect a bounty on a... let me find the name again. For whatever reason, I have Valrosa in my head. Kella. We're here to apprehend a criminal that has left Waterdeep. We had heard that she might have come here to hide out. But so far, we've not seen any trace of her.
Can you let me know when it's 8 o'clock?
Yep. Any other questions?
No. I wish him good speed on the trip.
Yep. Okay. Well, he's actually, he turns around and goes back to the inn, or actually over to his men. And so he's pretty much, and he's very kind of like used to being the one that's in charge. So he doesn't really ask you stuff. He just tells you what he's doing and gives you some information and then kind of moves off. So very, I'm an in charge kind of person, just informing you of what's going on.
Greybeard has an image in his head of this axe splitting the guy's face open from behind.
Nice. He does not notice your gleaming eyes. All right, and then the horses ride off into the distance, and we can move into our training montage if we wish.
So I assume it's 8 o'clock?
Yep, unless anybody says there's something else they wanted to do before that.
Nope.
Going once, going twice. Okay, 8 o'clock, and well, we can start our training montage. Is there something you want to do, Jarral?
Yeah, I'm gonna come out and notice that there's like a few of the guards missing, and I'm just gonna ask whoever knows where they went. What's going on?
Sure, whoever you go up to.
Probably closest to the door. So I ask Armel or Teagraiel, what's going on.
He sent some men south to report on the situation. Bring help, possibly.
Okay.
Not
Alright.
much of a concern for us, I don't think.
Okay. So they... Okay. Alright, I got nothing.
Okay. So moving into our training montage. So everybody hit their 3rd level. And just so that the people that are watching and watching on the stream get an idea of what changed for you guys, we've already done the hit dice increase. The characters were able to choose either to take the average +1 for their hit dice, or they were able to roll, and I assume everybody has done that. So they've updated their character sheets. But let's go through each of our group here and just get an idea of our newfound abilities, just so the chat knows as far as our people. So let's start with our Barbarian Dwarf, who's still kind of drunk. Is going to try to go through his day here. What is different now for our Barbarian? What have you gained?
So last level, I got reckless attack. And adding on to that, now I'm following the path of the berserker, and I've picked up frenzy, which, whilst raging, you may take a single melee attack as a bonus action on each of your turns. When your rage ends, you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay, great.
And did you want a description of how that looked, or
No,
the training?
yeah. No,
Okay.
I think we'll skip over that part. Excuse me 1 sec. Oh, I swallowed wrong. Whew. There we go. No, I think we're okay, because we'll kind of follow what we did on the last one. So that's all you got then. And you've got your character sheet is updated with that information.
Yep, and a boatload of hit points.
Okay, and Teagraiel, what is going to be changing for our wizard?
I'm getting access to 2nd level spells.
Okay.
Which, so far, my choices, I'm thinking of taking the 2 I get for 3rd to be invisibility. And I'm playing around with enlarge, because I'd love to see Greybeard about twice the size he is currently.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So basically just some spell slots then is what you're gaining?
Yeah, that's really all I gain.
Okay. Armel, what does our druid pick up?
Just spell slots.
Okay, so
And
additional spells.
if anybody notices during the day, he will actually have cast Animal Messenger and sent a message out at some point to
Okay.
his superiors.
So go ahead and make sure you guys have your prepped by the time we're about to leave. Make sure you have whatever spells you're going to do marked down as the ones that you have prepped. Jarral, what does our monk get?
So Jarral does some meditation and feels like he's on the cusp of something. He does get deflect missiles, which allows him to reduce the damage of ranged weapon attacks. And if he does reduce the damage to 0, he can catch the missile and send it back as an attack with proficiency.
Very cool.
He has available to him the ability to pick a monastic tradition, but he needs to go to a monastic order or a monastery to do that. So he's on the cusp of something. He knows that he's ready to break through a wall to like increase his abilities, but he knows that he needs like concentrated training, so he won't be able to get that until he's able to get to a monastery and focus about a week or so of time on that.
Okay. Ian, what does our ranger get?
after the last fight with the orc, I started noticing certain weaknesses that I hadn't noticed before, but I wasn't truly able to really take advantage of it. So I make sort of like a makeshift target board, essentially, or like a makeshift dummy on the side of what is that called? The temple, in that sort of empty area, and I start shooting, and I start noticing that if I hit a creature or hit something in certain areas, I'll probably be able to do more damage that way. In other words, I'm getting Colossus Slayer, which allows me to deal an extra D8 of damage if a creature is below its maximum hit points.
Awesome.
I also pick up Primeval Awareness, which is more awesome in the UA, which is great. It allows you to I'm able to sort of like I'm able to innately communicate with beasts. They recognize me as a kindred spirit, and through sounds and gestures, I can communicate simple ideas to beasts as an action. I can read its basic mood and intent. I can learn its emotional state, whether it's affected by magic of any sort, and its short-term needs as like food and safety. And as an action, I can try and make it persuaded not to attack, but I can't use it if the creature has already been attacked within the last 10 minutes. And additionally, the old school Primeval Awareness, where I can attune to the world, I guess, and see if any of my favorite enemies are nearby. So I need to spend an uninterrupted minute of concentration to sense if there's any favorite enemy around me within 5 miles. And and there's and I learned Hail of Thorns. So as I'm practicing, just like sort of like with Ensnaring's Strike that I learned last level, or I guess 2 days ago in game time, I do sort of the same thing where I concentrate, sort of like Hunter's Mark, where I concentrate, but in this case I concentrate on, instead of a whole being like it did in Ensnaring Strike, this time I think of an area, and I use the energy of the energy around me, and I send it through my arrow, and it splinters into many pieces into a hail of thorns within, I don't know, like it's within 5 feet of everything, or it's within 5 feet of the person I hit. So what is that, like 5?
So basically a square.
Yeah, basically a square. So within a small area, I'm able to hit something. So yeah, I think that's all I learned.
All right, great. And you guys will see how the bard goes as we go through a session where he's actually in our session for the kind of our full session here. And really what we did, if you hadn't seen last time when our montage was, the melee fighters are the ones that are becoming tougher or gaining attacks. Typically will spend the day sparring with each other or sparring with anyone that is willing, learning some new stuff. The magic users there's a library in the keep where they can study some of the old ancient books and scrolls, and they can find some of the other additional spells that maybe they had not learned before. Our druid is able to walk amongst the field and just gain some of his druidic powers as he meditates and kind of communes with nature. And there's even some interaction between the groups, whereas the ranger and the druid might have some talks at some point throughout the day. The druid and the wizard might have some talks throughout the day. The melee fighters, will discuss stuff with each other. And that's how we're kind of saying they are gaining their new abilities. Within this module, just as a side note, one of the ideas is the level advancement is kind of hyperactive for the first few levels, as the module really wants you to get to level 5 before we enter in to the big storyline here. So that's kind of why it's at an accelerated rate. Just in case some of you are checking it out and thinking D&D is super easy and every session I go up a level. That's not normally true, but in this case, we're rolling with it. We're going to play with it, and it's going to even itself out as we get a little bit further along the Storm King Thunder module. All right, so we're going to go through the day. Some guards stand guard throughout the day, some shift here and there, and we'll go through that whole montage, and we're going to go ahead and say all of that has happened, and it's about 6 p.m., so you got about an hour, maybe an hour and a half before it gets dark, and all of that is completed. You guys all are now truly third level characters. And what would the group like to do at this point? What is the plan?
So, have we told the, I can't remember his name, something or other? Zolkin? That's the guy. Have we told him when we were going to leave, or just that we were heading north?
I don't know if anybody gave him any specific idea. He just understood that at some point today you were going, but he doesn't know the exact time.
So I guess I suggest that we just sit down, grab some food, and then get ready to head out. And I say that, I guess, to Armel, Ardreth, and Greybeard, and Teagraiel. Where did Ian go?
Oh, I haven't moved myself. I'm still in the
okay.
tower.
Alright.
Surely a mass of humanity heading north can't be too difficult to track. So I suggest we leave as soon as possible.
And as they start getting ready, I ask if perhaps they're looking for an additional bow and sword for their journeys. I've heard the plight of the villagers you're after and thought I'd offer my help.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna give me a sword and a bow.
And I offer, but I think the bow might be a bit tall for you.
Oh.
Jarral smiles at that and says, we could use another bow. We have lost another one that we had before. And then he kind of looks at the rest of the group to just kind of say, is everybody in agreement?
Many
Sounds
hands
good
make
to
light
me.
work. Let's go.
Swords. He can sing.
All right. So we're just gonna head out right after we finish eating. Is that okay? Cool.
Okay. Ian, while that is happening, Sidiri comes up to you, and she has in her hand a quiver, and it has 12 arrows in it.
Ooh.
And when you look at the arrows, these are very finely crafted arrows. And she kind of walks up to you and she says, I know you're going to get the villagers. It's definitely been too long for them not to have come back, so something must have happened at this point. And she said, these were Lady Velrosa's, and I want you to have them, and they will help you hopefully return our villagers to our town. And so you have a quiver of arrows, and they are arrows, and each one is a +1 arrow.
Oh, shit.
And she hands them to you.
I bow my head as I take what she's offering, and I say, I greatly appreciate it. I hope all the townspeople are as safe as they can be, and we will bring them back.
And she says, we would go with you, but we feel like we should watch the town so that you're not coming back to another trap or something else far worse. We'll do what we can. If something happens, we will run north to try to warn you before you come back.
I greatly appreciate it. That is a great idea. Stay safe and keep an eye out for those goblins.
Yep. And she hefts her spear and she kind of gives you kind of holds her hand out, but more like the warrior embrace. So it's like the forearm to forearm kind of shake. of
Yeah,
two warriors, and then she says, may the gods see you back here safely, and may they see us here too. And she's going to head back over to the tower and stand guard.
When they do forearm to forearm, I grab them both and hug them.
Okay. Yeah, Sidiri looks at Ian like with a rolling of eyes and like, okay.
I just do the thing where I just start I don't shove him away, but I do put my hand down, please stop that. Please, it's in his face, it's smushing him.
Right. Yeah. She lets you do it for about 5 seconds, and then she's like, I need to get back on guard, and then she heads back to the tower. All right. So the group is prepared. I assume all spells are readied on the character sheets.
Sorry, I was
Everybody
on mute.
has.
Before Sidiri took off, I suggested that she keep an eye on the mercenaries, the bounty hunters. I just observed that they seem to be getting a little too comfortable. So don't let them boss you around.
All right. Yeah, she gives you a nod.
That's all.
Okay. Then she'll go to the tower. Now our intrepid group. Last minute preparations. Everybody's prepared. Is there anything else anybody wants or needs?
Change of underwear.
Do we need torches or any other additional light to track as we go north?
I have the torches that are in my pack. I think everybody should have 10 torches each, right?
Yeah, and I have a lamp that I picked up that I looted off a goblin.
Are you looking for breadcrumb kind of things, or just to light the way?
We gotta find the path. I think I'm the only one without dark vision though. So eventually I'll let everybody know that I will cast a spell to deal with my vision issues. But I am not a tracker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And let's head out.
Okay. So right here in the courtyard, how about you guys arrange yourself as your walking order?
So
how are you going to be marching north?
How long is it until dark?
You guys had about an hour to an hour and a half, you think?
All right, so I'll take the middle. If we're going 2 by 2, I'll take the middle until it gets dark, and then I'll move up to the front.
Place yourself as if you're heading north, because that's the way you'll be heading.
All right, so Ian's out in the front, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right. In fact, I'll go behind Greybeard.
Okay. So a pretty close group then. Nobody's off on their own.
No.
I'm gonna be a little bit ahead.
Okay. So what would a little bit be? How far would that be?
20 feet.
Okay.
There. Just a little bit ahead
Yeah.
to
Okay.
get a head start.
All right.
Dang it, I can't go between squares.
Hold Alt down.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, but I just want to get a good idea of if something happens, where everybody's going to be.
Not that anything will, right?
Right.
I'd just be happy to get above that stupid compass thing.
Yep, it'll happen.
Finally.
I just need to know which person will die. I mean, wait. All right, Ardreth, are you following in, or are you going to stay off to the side
I'm
of
gonna
them, or what?
follow behind there just a tiny bit. So I'll walk with a group. And
Like down here-ish behind them type?
oh,
If they're
I was
walking
there.
straight north?
Yep.
or off to the side.
Are we heading out the gate or up north?
I'm setting it so that you guys are gonna be
gotcha.
walking
Okay.
north.
Yep, I can
Yeah,
stay back here
I'm
by
just setting
Armel.
it up. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, cool.